These are 7 ways in which I incorporate technology into my classroom.
7, 7.
7, 7.
Let me show you those 7 things first of all, and then we'll break each one down. Number 1, Google Classroom. Number 2, Blooket. Number 3, Edpuzzles. Number 4, Digital Breakout. Number 5, GoGuardian. Number 6 are videos. And then number 7 is Google Forms. Those 7 ways have helped me tremendously in my classroom. So let's break each one down for you so you see how it could benefit you in your classroom. So the first one is Google Classroom. Now, there's a really good chance that you're using this already because it has become a standard of most schools. But what I like about Google Classroom, now, don't get me wrong, I still use a lot of stuff paper-wise. I still use a lot of assignments the old-fashioned way. But I do have quite a few things in Google Classroom. But what I like about Google Classroom is the way it is set up and structured, the way that's easy to give information to your students, the way it's easy to communicate with them, and to share out things you might need to share out in a uniformed form. So for that reason, Google Classroom is a great, great tool. But I would highly recommend, as I do, just don't make that your only tool. I still think there's some benefit from doing things the old-fashioned way, which might be old paper and pencil. The second thing, man, this was a game changer for me. I only came across this, I think, 3 years ago, and that was Blooket. Now, Blooket is an interactive game. And so what happens is this. First of all, the great thing about Blooket, it is free, 100% free. And there's so many games already created that you can just grab one and play it with your class. You can search by subject or whatever else you want to search by and find what you're looking for. But here's how it's so incredibly awesome. I remember the good old days. I started with Jeopardy. I'm not sure if you did that. I did PowerPoint Jeopardy. That's like 20 years ago, PowerPoint Jeopardy. And the next big rage was Kahoot. That was the next big rage. It was Kahoot, but this takes it to one step further. You actually have different games you can play. So you can choose like 15 questions that you want students to have, but then there's like 10 different games they can play that has those questions in there. And those games are fun. They're interactive. The students are all on their own individual Chromebooks, and they're all competing against each other at the same exact time. Then what I show on my screen is just what the class is doing. I kind of show the standing going on. And you can modify and change it in so many different ways. But I'm telling you, of all the things I came across as far as ways for reviewing or having students be interested in, Blooket is at the top. The third thing is Edpuzzles. Now, Edpuzzles are tremendous. So just like Blooket, there's already thousands of Edpuzzles already created. And what an Edpuzzle is it's a video that has points in it that are stopped where you ask questions. So you watch a video and you get to a certain spot, and before you can go on any further, you have to answer questions. And so you can choose, once again, your topic, subject, you name it. There's thousands of these things out there. But you find one that you like. And for me, what I do is I'll give my students Edpuzzles to work on. And so students will be on their Chromebooks working on Edpuzzles individually by themselves. And the great thing about it, it does everything for you. It gives them the information, it gives them the questions, it tracks what they score right, what they score wrong, and in grading, for me, is as simple as input it into the grade book, there's a button I push, and boom, there it is. So Edpuzzles is a foundation, or is a critical part of my lesson planning. The fourth technology is digital breakout. Now this is a little more creative. This takes a lot more work to put into place. But if you could pull it off, I think kids really enjoy it. So it works this way. Students will be on their computer. There's a website you can go to. I think it's called Digital Breakout EDU or something like that. Digital Breakout Sandbox or something. And I'm sure you could pay a membership to get more stuff. But they do have some free ones in there. And the idea would be, if you want to get really good, you can create your own. I created a few myself. But the base is like a Google form. But what students have to do is they have to solve different riddles about different things in order to get the code to put into the form. And by doing that, they eventually unlock stuff and eventually win the game. So for me, it's a creative way to review information, creative way to give them information. And depending upon what you want to do, what you can find, or what you can create, you get really creative with it and go really deep into time and effort, but it's another angle I use to hopefully get students engaged in the material. So that's called digital breakout. The fifth technology I cannot live without is GoGuardian. Now GoGuardian, and I'm not sure what districts have it or don't, and the membership, I don't know that, but I just know we have it here at our district. And what GoGuardian allows you to do, it allows you to monitor students' Chromebooks. So if I have a class going on and students are on their Chromebooks, and you know how it is, they're really good at this, as flipping between tabs and look like they're working, not really working. But GoGuardian allows me to see all my students' work on one screen. It allows me to see all their screens on my computer. So I can see if a student is on task or off task. And there's a lot more to it as well as far as monitoring goes. But man, as far as keeping track of what students are doing or not doing on their Chromebooks, GoGuardian, you cannot beat it. The sixth technology I use in my classroom are just videos themselves. I mean, the nice thing about it, before I used to use DVD player, but now you can stream anything you want. Now I teach history. So with that, there are a lot of great history videos I want my students to see because I've gained so much out of it, and I know our students would gain so much out of it. So you can just watch videos is another technology that I implement in my class. Now there's some caveats to that, some things. You wouldn't want to do that every single day, obviously, and I always recommend with each video you also have questions that go along with it to keep the engagement and everything else. But as far as a resource goes, man, just being able to stream videos is awesome. And the seventh technology I cannot live without are Google Forms. Oh man, I remember the good old days when I used to give a test out on a paper and then students would have Scantrons they had to bubble in, and then I ran the Scantrons through a machine. Now I thought I was super tech because I was able to use the Scantron machine. That was like 20 years ago. Since then, we have come so far. And now all my tests, everything is on Google Forms. It is just so much more convenient. Papers don't get lost. It's easier to monitor cheating going on. Grading is a piece of cake with it. And just the format is great. So I have switched all my tests, and this happened a long time ago, over to Google Forms. So if you're not using Google Forms, trust me, it may say it takes some time to originally transfer things over, but it'll make your life so much easier in the long run.